I'm Scott with Postage Saver Software. We started Postage Saver to provide low-cost software to make it easy for small businesses and nonprofits to get bulk mail postage discounts. I was helping a community group send out newsletters, and there was just no bulk mailing software that a small organization could afford. That was back in the 90s. Since then, we've become the leader in helping small volume mailers save postage, and we can help you save postage too. Many of our users are print providers or mail services providers, or both, who offer bulk mailing services to their customers. We wanted to learn more about how they're using bulk mailing to grow their businesses, so we sent out a survey and also talked directly with some of them. I'm going to share some of what we've learned. I'll also show you what it takes to get started with bulk mailing. It's surprisingly little. And I'll touch on typical steps preparing a bulk mailing and how you can track your mail once you've sent it. So in our survey, we first asked how important bulk mailing services are as part of your business. And we found that most of the respondents said it was either very important or somewhat important. We then asked, does bulk mailing mostly bring in new customers, increase revenue from existing customers, or both? And about half said it was a good mix of each. And the remaining half, most said it primarily increases revenue from existing customers, which is always great when you can get more business from the customers you already have. So next we asked what specific bulk mailing services these companies offer, and we found that there was a group that almost all of them offered: sorting the mailing, assembling the mailing into trays or sacks as required by the Postal Service, taking the mailing to the post office, and using your company's permit for the mailing. But we also found that some companies were offering more than just the basic bulk mailing services. For instance, they're providing mailing lists for their customers. They're providing address verification services, such as CAS or NCOA services for their customers. They're managing a schedule of mailings, or they're providing bulk mailings of parcels. All of these are add-ons to the basic bulk mailing services. And importantly, we found that respondents who said that they offered more than the minimum services were much more likely to say that bulk mailing is an important revenue source. So those additional services are key because they let you do a wraparound and completely finish the job for the customer. So clearly you want your customers to come to you for help whenever possible, and bulk mailing helps position you as a one-stop shop. Some of the people we talked to said most small businesses don't have any idea how to market their services. Another said, I want them to understand that I'm not just selling them a product, I want them to come to me with a project to design the logo and design the look. Another said, my expertise is in knowing what the post office is going to accept, whether it's paper size or whatever it's going to be. I umbrella people under my postal permit so they don't have to get involved with the post office at all. I take all those headaches away. So where do you make your money on bulk mailing? Well, providers typically don't mark up the postage. Because bulk mail postal rates depend on the exact combination of zip codes in the mailing, it's usually not possible to quote a firm postage cost without having the exact mailing list. So it's typically a pass-through after the mailing is complete. But there are other services that are profitable. Some examples that are mentioned are provision of a targeted mailing list, design of the mail piece, doing variable data merging of the mailing list into the mail piece, assembly of the mailing for the USPS as required, list management, and of course delivery to the post office. So let's talk a little about what it takes to get started with bulk mailing. First, you need a mailing permit from the Postal Service. It's free if you're always using full-service barcoding on all of your bulk mailings, which is pretty easy to do. We recommend you use barcodes on your bulk mailing. It gets you a little faster service, gets you a little lower postage rate, and you avoid the annual charge. You also need a permit imprint authorization. That's a one-time, lifetime charge. And what that lets you do is print the little postage paid box on your mail pieces instead of having to use a stamp on each one. And you print the postage paid box as part of printing the piece. It's not something that's counted against you every time you print it like a PC postage would be or a postage meter. So you can just print up the pieces with that on it and you never have to worry about putting postage on the individual pieces that you mail. Another thing you might want to consider getting is a USPS electronic payment account. We highly recommend it because it saves you the hassle of having to take a check with each mailing down to the Postal Service. This way you just get charged to your bank account or a credit card whenever a mailing goes out under your permit. You'll also need software to help you prepare your mailing, to sort the list into the required trays and sacks, to create the tags for those trays and sacks, to generate the paperwork that the post office requires, to compute the postage, and to give you a set of instructions for how to prepare each particular mailing. And if you're doing parcels, to upload a parcel tracking file to the Postal Service. We have 2 products that do all that. Our Postage Saver Pro product is for letter size and flat size mail. It's basically cards and envelopes. Then our Postage Saver for Parcels product for packages. Both are quite inexpensive. Prices you see are one-time charges. They include all required postal updates for a year. After that, there's a much smaller renewal charge to continue to receive the updates. So what do you have to do to prepare a mailing to get bulk mailing pricing from the Postal Service? These are some typical steps. It may vary depending on the exact mailing you're doing, and we go into more detail on all of these steps in the Learn About Bulk Mailing section on our website at savepostage.com. For most mailings, the Postal Service first requires that you verify the mailing list to make sure the addresses are still good and that the people you're mailing to actually are still at those addresses. Typically, that's best done through an outsource rather than bringing that software into your own shop because the software can be very expensive, whereas sending it out can be as little as $2 per 1,000 addresses. There are a number of companies that do this. We use one called updateyourlist.com. There are others that you can find through Google, and they all provide basically the same service. Then you use your pre-sort software to sort the list by container and, where required, by bundle, and to add the barcodes. You print the mailing in that sorted order using variable data and bundle the pieces if required and load into containers. Of course, you can also print labels instead of using variable data. Then you enter the postage totals into the Postal Wizard tool on the USPS Business Customer Gateway website. And when you're finished doing that, it'll let you print a scan form that identifies your mailing. You take the mailing and the scan form to the post office and you're done. It's even easier if you're trying to prepare a bulk mailing that's going to go to every house or every business in a particular area. In that case, you can use a service called Every Door Direct Mail. You need no mailing list. You don't have to do any addressing or sorting. You use the USPS Every Door Direct Mail web tool to choose specific carrier routes and whether you want to go to businesses, residential, or both. Then you just print the required number of pieces for each route, label each stack with a form printed by the web tool, and take the mailing to the post office. There's also very attractive postage rates for bulk parcels. We have one user who sends out promotional calendars in mailing tubes. We have another customer who likes to send out promotional items to all of their clients, like tins of popcorn. It's things you can't put in an envelope, has to go as a parcel. But if you're sending enough of them, which is typically 50 pieces or 50 pounds, depending on the specific service, you can get very good rates to do this. And all you have to really do is sign up as a commercial shipper with the Postal Service. Or if it's a one-time job, you can actually pay a small penalty, like anywhere from a nickel to a quarter of additional postage, and not go through the sign-up process. The permit for commercial parcels is usually free. It does require that you print USPS tracking labels like the one shown, and that you submit an electronic tracking and pricing file to the Postal Service when you're ready to take your shipment into them. Those are 2 things that our Postage Saver for Parcels product does for you. And then USPS will provide you daily tracking reports to show the status of every parcel that the mailer has in the system. Tracking for individual pieces are also available on USPS.com. There's a bunch of different pricing categories for different kinds of parcels based on size, weight, and content. There's especially low pricing for promotional shipments, and we're ready to help you figure out which one works the best way for you. And finally, a lot of people don't know that the Postal Service offers free tracking for postcards, letters, and flats. It's available for any barcoded business mail, including single-piece first-class retail mail that you stick a stamp on, or any bulk mail. The way it works is that a tracking event is captured and reported to you whenever the piece is scanned going through the postal system. So it doesn't actually provide proof of delivery because pieces are not typically scanned when they get to your mailbox, but it does show you how the piece is moving or not moving through the postal system and when it passed various points in the system. Now, to get informed visibility tracking, you have to sign up with the USPS, and then they have a website to get the tracking data, but it's not particularly easy to use. So we've created a software app that makes the tracking a lot simpler. And here's a screen from our Quick Letter Tracker software. It shows you a particular envelope that has been prepared for carrier delivery, which means it was ready to go out and by now should be in the recipient's hands. And here you can see the whole tracking history for the piece, starting from where it was prepared at the originating sorting center until it was prepared for the carrier to take it out and deliver it. Here at Postage Saver, we're always happy to help you with your bulk mail and tracking questions. And we've developed relationships with postal staff over the years so that we can help you resolve USPS problems when they occur. We offer 5 software solutions to help you save postage and track your mail. They're all designed for small to medium volume mailers, so we can keep them simple and affordable. Feel free to contact me at scott@savepostage.com if we can help you in any way. I look forward to hearing from you, and thanks for watching.